A mysterious morning. The takeoff of MH370 on the morning of March 8, 2014, Malaysia Airlines was preparing its MH370 flight from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. The aircraft was a Boeing 777-200ER, carrying 227 passengers and 12 crew members. The passengers came from different countries, towns, and cities, all expecting a routine flight experience. It was supposed to be just a few hours in the air, with a smooth journey ahead. However, that morning was about to mark a turning point for the whole world. At 0:41 a.m., the plane took off from Kuala Lumpur, and MH370 began its journey. The first part of the flight went as expected, with no issues. The flight route was set to take it over Southeast Asia's seas and into the Indian Ocean. The aircraft was cruising at 38,000 feet, around 11,582 meters, and all systems were functioning normally. But about an hour after takeoff, something began to go wrong. The disappearance on radar and early mysteries. At around 1:19 a.m., the pilot of MH370 radioed the control tower for a final message. It was brief and simple: "Good night, Malaysia 370. This would be the last communication between the plane and air traffic control." Shortly after, the aircraft disappeared from radar. Initially, this wasn't seen as unusual, since planes can sometimes move out of the range of civilian radar once they reach a certain altitude. But then something strange happened. The plane had deviated from its planned flight path. The aircraft was flying in airspace where everything seemed normal. But after communication was lost, the plane started to drastically change its course. A military radar later picked up the plane, showing it moving westward. So, rather than heading to Beijing, the aircraft was slowly turning around. As hours passed, the plane remained off radar, but a few radar signals indicated that the aircraft was moving towards the vast oceans of Southeast Asia. However, there was no more communication. No one knew where MH370 had gone. The missing aircraft and global shock when the plane disappeared, passengers' families were immediately filled with concern. Initially, Malaysia Airlines officials thought it was just a routine flight delay. But as hours passed with no communication, it became clear that the plane was missing. This sparked a global search and rescue operation. A massive search began in the Indian Ocean. Several countries launched efforts to find any wreckage or clues. However, at first, no concrete evidence was found. The lost trace of Boeing 777. For a long time, Malaysia Airlines and international authorities were unable to find any trace of the plane. But during the ongoing search, the last automated satellite signals from the Boeing 777 were picked up. These signals continued after the plane had vanished. These were described as short messages, showing that MH370 was still airborne, but the signals were too weak to pinpoint its exact location. The source of these signals came from the aircraft's engines, sending constant responses to satellites. Although these signals didn't provide a clear location, they showed that the plane was somehow still alive even days after it disappeared. Yet, the meaning of these signals and where the plane actually went remained a mystery. MH370's end, 239 missing people. After a year of searching, several airplane parts were found along the ocean's coastline. However, no definitive information was uncovered regarding the fate of the 239 people on board. The exact cause of the disappearance remained unknown despite a year of thorough investigation. The most widely accepted theory was that the aircraft's course had been intentionally altered, either by the pilots or someone else on board. However, whether the event was an accident or a deliberate act still hasn't been clarified. By 2018, the official reports indicated that the area where MH370 disappeared was in the southern part of the Indian Ocean, where wreckage was still being discovered. This region was not only the largest area searched but also one of the most controversial and complex zones. Still, the exact location of the plane or more conclusive information remains a mystery. Questions and doubts around the world. The MH370 tragedy deeply affected aviation experts, researchers, journalists, and people from all over the world. Why did it disappear? What happened to the passengers in their final moments? And was there something hidden behind the crash? These questions remain unanswered. The event pushed aviation safety standards to their limits, as it became clear that nothing was sufficient to explain the disappearance of a plane. This major mystery that the aviation industry continues to face will forever be remembered as one of the greatest aviation disasters in history. This tragic and mysterious event is not just about a loss, it has become a huge question mark in human history. MH370's fate still has a massive impact on flight safety and investigative methods.